to bring it to its end position, which will basically be the open position, and we'll now move this all the way to the open position like this. Now keep in mind that we have the move object selected, not the height, not the size, not the rotate. Again, if we select any of these, it will start to work in that direction and not in the move direction. Again, I'm going to pull this back to our 14-second mark, and I'm going to select the second gate, take it back to 19, and I'm going to move this now in the open direction. Do remember that we need to finish one object and then work on the second object. That's how it would make much more sense. Now once we're done with this, we'll have the car coming out. So obviously we don't want the car going completely on the road, as we have a lot of cars moving. So I'm going to pull the time to, let's say, around the midpoint, and I'm going to push this car a little behind to change its start position. Now the position of this, even though we have placed it here, has now become this area. I'm going to now bring it to around 19.2, so it moves a little bit more than the gate, and I'm going to take it ever so slightly outside. And now I'll bring it back. Let's have a look at how it looks now. So remember, always write down the times, because you might want to move multiple things together. So write down the timings and then go ahead and set the advanced move. So we saw that the gate opens perfectly, the cars are moving well, we have the clouds moving as well. The only two things which are left to move will be the humans. So we have one person over here who we are going to move, and we have a second person over here who is walking. I'm going to go ahead and pause this and click on advanced move again. We know that we see this person throughout the entire starting of our clips. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually move this person behind. The minute we move him, you'll see he turns his path towards facing the way we want him to walk. And we'll just go ahead and remove the key again, and I'm going to actually bring the time back to 0 because we want him to start walking from 0. So I'll just move him a little bit behind, and you'll see he sets a key at 0. I can increase the time. Now remember, if we increase the time, let's say till around 12.8, and we give him a short path to walk, he will walk slower, and it will look much more realistic rather than making him walk fast, which will look like as if he's gliding throughout the entire video. So I'll just press back and I'll play this so you guys can have a look at what I'm saying. You can see that how he's walking very comfortably throughout the entire video and not too fast. So it kind of provides that much more realistic look rather than him just gliding throughout the entire thing. So I'll click back on edit button, and let's go to this guy over here. Now we know this guy is basically seen during the end of the clips. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the 14-second mark, and we'll pull him till here as his start position. And now we're going to increase the time only this much, and we're going to give him a very little path to walk, just this much, and we'll press back. Now let's just move in front and have a look at him walking over here back as such. So we can see that it's a very short walk, so we can see him stop actually, which we don't really want. We want to see him in motion. So what we're going to do is we're going to edit again. We're going to click on this person as well and kind of just remove the keys from here. And now I'm going to actually kind of start his time over here only, because in the start of the clip he is also visible, and we'll give him a time, let's say till here, to move all the way till this point, and then from here we're going to again increase the time and make him walk back as such. So he's walking twice. And now since I'll just remove the last key, we'll want to make him walk all the way till the end, so that will make more sense. And I'll press back, and let's see the video now from the starting. Now we can see him walk as well as he is walking. Let's have a turn over here facing the gate. We can see the gates opening, the car coming out, and our human walking as well. So now we have set the entire motion portion of the entire video. Let's click on new effect and add another effect over here, which would be camera. We'll add the 2-point perspective. In this we can add the motion blur, but since the video is not too fast, the motion blur will not be that focused. And let's see what else can we add. Yeah, so I think you guys can go through these. We had spoken about depth of field during our render, so we would be using it here. We might use it in another scene, but let's see about that as well. In styles, we can add the analog color lab or even the color correction. I think we should add the color correction over here, since we can kind of enhance the contrast. It's too dark, just kind of keep it over here. So I think we can use the color correction in the interiors much better, but just to give you guys an understanding about what it does, I have brought it out right now. I don't think it's making too much of a difference, so for removing it, remember, click on the spanner and then click on the remove button. So we'll be adding these in some other scenes. Now once we're done with all of this, I'll just press the cancel button over here, and we'll just play it one last time to see how the entire video has been created by switching on the 2-point perspective. It's not been much of a change, but we should always keep it on, because usually we view things in 2-point perspectives if we're not taking out dynamic angles. So I think this scene is set. I think we're good to go, and we can now go on to scene number 2. So I'm going to click on scene number 2. Scene number 2 is basically our approach scene. We're obviously going to add some of the similar effects like reflection and all of those. Of course, we'll change the planes, but the effects would then stay the same. So what we're going to do, we're going to just go back to scene number 1, select the spanner right on top over here, edit, and click on copy effects. The minute we click on copy effects, we can come back here, click on edit and paste effects. Now as we see, we have added all these different views over here, all these different effects over here. Let's just have a play and see how it looks in this approach video. Over here you can see all the clouds are moving. We have the 2-point perspective on, that's why the bend of the building is so much. So we'd want to switch that off in this video. Obviously, I think the 2-point perspective is not going to work that much in this video, as we're starting in a 2-point perspective and we finish off in a 1-point perspective. So you can see it's right now 2-point, but then we start to focus right into the building, so we go back into a 1-point. What we'll do is we'll just remove this effect from here. Again, all the cars are moving, so that's a good one. We won't do the cloud movement in this as much. We'll kind of reduce it a bit. So for reducing it, we can just go and change the frame size over here. Let's just pause this and change the frames and just remove one of the frames. I've removed the last frame and we still have the first frame over here. So I'll just select the entire clip till the end again. I'll add another frame, but now I won't change the position too much. So we can now see how this works. So the clouds are moving much more slower and not as fast. But in this clip, what we're going to do is we're actually going to go from day to night. So I'd want you guys to see how we do that. So I'm going to pause this now, take the time back to 0. I'm going to go to sun, and in sun we can actually change the height over here to get to the night scene, and again the day scene by going here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way and give a very bright scene, so a very morning scene over here by giving the height a lot, and we're going to add a frame. The minute we add a frame, we can now increase the time all the way till the end of the video and add another frame. The minute we add the second frame, we can reduce the height. I won't be reducing it too much, just that much is fine. And now we'll play this and see how the entire video starts to pan. So as you can see how it's going from a morning scene to a night scene. I'm just going to change the sun heading because I think this side is looking too dark. What we're going to do is we're even going to add a key to the heading. So I'm going to start with the bright side, which will basically be like this. I'll add a frame over here which is at the start, and I'll take it all the way towards the end. I'll add another heading key. So remember, sun height is the first, heading is the second, and I'll change the heading from here till this side, kind of brighten up this side. And we go all the way back and play. So you can see the sun also moving at the same time. So we have the sun moving, the clouds moving, as well as the entire part moving. What we want to do is we want to reduce the brightness also, so that the sun doesn't end up being so bright on the building at the end. So I'm going to just pause this, take it back to 0. I'm going to add another frame of the brightness over here at 0 itself. Increase the time again all the way towards the end. Add another frame and reduce the brightness now over here. And we'll play it one last time to have a look at it. So that seems to be fairly good now. I'll just give this a pause. And we can increase, so I'll just go and change the frame. So we have the first frame. I'm going to increase the brightness of this over here. And now that we're done with this, I think I'll just change this frame as well. Okay. So once we're done with all of these, we can actually play it one last time to see if it's all working out very well. And we're done with the second scene as well. So you guys can see how we can go even from a day to a sunny evening to maybe a night scene also, depending on where the keyframes are set. I want you guys to go through and set the first and the second scene the same way I have set it, and then we will work on the third and the fourth scene. I'll see you guys in the next topic. Take care.